there she was. Here's another baby. But she'll be gone tomorrow, man. Oh, there she was.
Christmas classic.
Where? She will wake and make you wonder, say, showing on that love. Timothy, I've had a drink.
Right, you got to go?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. What is up, everyone? I am Rob.
I'm Eamon.
Peace on earth.
And all nice stuff.
Can it be? What's up? It's Christmas, Eamon.
We're in the Christmas spirit.
It's Christmas.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's Monday. Mini Fuzz Monday today, which is actually
officially
probably logical.
a week and 3 days away from Christmas.
We're recording it
reality.
early. We hope you enjoyed Thursday's episode with Tim. We are about to record that in the future. So
What is time?
there's a lot going on that we can't understand right
What
now.
is a man but a miserable bag of secrets?
But yeah, it's going to be a lackadaisical, laid-back episode today. And the reason being is because everyone's busy on their holidays. We know, because we are too. So this is just a light-hearted little background noise episode.
If you're in New Jersey, you're waiting for your presents, you're looking at the UAPs zipping by ahead. You don't need serious things. You don't need talk of, is it the military? Is it Russia?
We will be
is
talking
it
about
aliens?
that.
Never mind. We're going to focus on that this episode.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. And yeah, we'll talk about the madness that's going on in the skies first.
Yeah.
And then we've got a couple of questions, and we'll just keep it kind of lighthearted and Christmassy for today because 'tis the season for those who celebrate. If you don't celebrate, hope you have a good time regardless. Do something cool.
Yeah.
Smoke a cigar. Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. You know. What do Muslims do on Christmas Day? Is there any crack for them? Do they do anything?
I think they just
They
check
think
to
just-
see what time the shops are opening the next day. I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, we'd like to remind everyone, before we get into this episode, if you could head on over and support us on Patreon, that would be much appreciated. You'll get exclusive episodes, access to our Discord, and all of that jazz over there. We very, 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 very much appreciate it. Eamon, if they've got any spooky stories, or maybe a Christmas story, or a ghost story, where do they send it?
Were you visited by the ghost of Christmas present, the ghost of Christmas past, and the ghost of Christmas future? Is your name Charles Dickens? Write in monsterfuzzpodcast@gmail.com. Bring us all your spooky stories because we love to hear them. We love to hear them.
My spookiest Christmas story was a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah, what our listeners would know. Anyone new wouldn't, but yeah, our house was broken into on Christmas Eve. Well, Christmas Day morning, while I was awake and like 9 or 10.
Yeah,
that was
takes
probably
a real piece of shit to break into someone's house on Christmas morning to rob the toys.
Degenerates. They weren't. I don't know. I don't know whether they were breaking in to rob the house or whether they were just doing general delinquency. It was like. It would have been 2 a.m, so you're talking like maybe some pubs had a lock until that time, maybe.
Just hammered. I remember walking home one night, Christmas Eve, and like it was when everyone used to meet up in the pub downtown. So I was walking back, and it was a bit chaotic. It was right at the time, I guess, people were being asked to leave. One lad I saw smash a pram against a wall with a load of people cheering him on, and I was like, I guess the baby's not his. Like, I wasn't sure. So a good Christmas for him then, by the looks of this. So it can be chaotic.
It can be chaotic, I think, for people, some people. It's a hard time for some people.
Yeah, understandably.
There's a lot
of you feel like if you don't feel happy, there's something wrong with you, even if you have the family and everything else. And for a lot of people, even though they love their families, being around their family for X period of time can be really challenging, you know?
Yeah, and there's people as well that like I was even reading a story the other day. It wasn't actually Christmas related, but it just popped into my head now because I've been thinking of that type of person on Christmas is like they hate their family. They don't get on with them at all. They never did. There's a lot of unresolved issues and whatever. Yeah. And so they basically moved to Ireland from the UK just to be away from them. And so maybe I'm thought projecting here a little bit, but you would imagine that like some people like that who are probably right in their judgment and they should feel vindicated about it. They are probably, when they're alone at Christmas time, it's probably still a hard time, right? Even though they are probably objectively making the right decision, there's probably still like tough, like sometimes being the one on the outside, like you might be doing it for the right reasons, but you might suffer more than the ones that
I think sometimes it's comparing yourself to what's going on around you, and maybe that's what's making you sad, because in reality you're way happier to not be around the people that you don't, see eye to eye with. And I think maybe sometimes it can be that time of year where you wish things were different. Like it'd be nice to have a better relationship with my mom, my dad, my sister, whatever. But if you don't, you don't. Fuck it. Like, I'm not saying like to trivialize it, but it's just like, if that's reality, just do whatever you can do to make it as comfortable for you as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't be worrying about the fucking Hallmark bullshit. Like this is like, nah. Just if your perfect Christmas is staying in bed all day and like eating a bit of turkey and ham or eating an old sandwich, it's whatever it is for you that makes you feel comfortable and happy. Yeah, just do that.
If for you it's the best day of the year because no one's around and it's quiet and you're able to stay alone on your own and not deal with anything and play games and stuff, feel positive about that. I think it can be, I suppose, a grass is greener scenario when everyone's with their families and you're like, oh, maybe do I want to be in it? But if you don't, you don't.
Yeah. And if you're happy just doing your own thing, just prioritize that. Prioritize like all the things. If you don't have anyone to celebrate your birth, prioritize all the things that are going to make you feel happy.
Have a good day to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to have 10 wanks. 10 wanks
is fine. Do you think at this age, I think you probably damage your thing fairly badly? That'd be like flute destroyer. Like if you went 10 times, that's like stepping into the ring with Tyson 30 years ago.
Nightmare before Christmas.
Yeah, that's the nightmare, George. That's the accident and emergency. It was no accident, but it was certainly an emergency.
So we just recorded, by the way, if anyone wants to check it out, an exclusive episode over on Patreon where we did Christmas music trivia. It was tricky. The genius prevailed.
Yeah. You're a genius of the snow. Once again, you're very good at trivia.
2-0 now.
Yeah, you're 2-0. It's soon to be 3-0. A mere 365 days from now.
Yeah, that was a good quiz, actually.
It was fun.
So if anyone wants to do a little quiz along with us, check out our Patreon.
I'd say what we should do next year, we should try to find if there's a video game quiz. Video game trivia would be pretty good.
We can go, brother.
I think that would be good. We can go. Catch these ends.
We can throw it out, brother. What we will talk about now, we'll get to the stuff, is the drones going on in America. So let's, first off, we don't have notes, so we're shooting from the hip today. But let's talk
Everyone is. In terms of the drones, everyone is shooting from hip, except people who need to shoot the drones down because that'll get you 20 years in prison. Yeah. Don't do that.
So let's talk right from the start, because there's a couple of things that we need to separate from here. Right. So the first thing is there's the UFO like drones, which was the one that we put up on our
the sphere
Instagram. That's different.
The orb. Yeah.
Then there are plenty of drones flying over military installations in America, all over various areas in America, actually, just everywhere.
Right now, New Jersey seems to be the hot spot at the moment of recording.
And this is not conspiracy. This is not science fiction.
No, it's happening.
This is not like speculation. This is actually happening. It has been addressed by Congress. It's been addressed by pretty much everyone.
And there's been a statement by the Pentagon, which has been somewhat underwhelming.
Yeah.
They just said it's not adversaries and it's not us.
Yeah.
And
so it's obviously aliens, right?
And like, to be fair, it's funny because when we were chatting earlier, we stumbled into that thing because you were like, well, the sphere is like a legit, that's a weird looking thing. And I was going, well, maybe then they're trying to send all these drones out to just sort of distract people from the fact that there may be actual UAPs.
Yeah, maybe.
That are visiting. But the reality is no one knows. It's spooky.
Yeah. So basically, for people who aren't in the loop, there's lots of really good resources out there, both on YouTube and in podcast form. There's a really good YouTube channel. Again, I can't remember the name, but it's a bald English guy with a beard and glasses. You know that guy? I can't remember his name and it's really annoying me, but he actually did a video on this. Very good channel. He does a lot of war stuff and a lot of current news. The name escapes me, but basically, you know, what it seems to be is there's a couple of interesting things about it that make it very unusual. One of the things is it does not appear to be actively trackable by America. The United States have not been able to successfully track these properly.
Yeah, because they spoke to a guy. He's like the head dude in a drone manufacturer. And they make some pretty sizable industrial type
like
ones.
the big ones look like mini planes almost.
But he was saying, he was like, you know, there is a thing you can download on your phone and you can try and track where this... So there's a thing, but again, to your point, it doesn't seem to be working.
Well, they've evaded NASA.
Yeah.
So NASA have this kind of plane type of thing. And that was deployed to try and...
Oh, that's the mad looking...
And that was deployed to try and track him. And they lost him. American military have tried to track him and they've lost him. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a couple of things to note. America can't actually shoot these down on American soil unless they pose a legitimate threat. And a legitimate threat is like, there's evidence that these things have missiles on them. There's evidence that, you know, there's something like they're like...
the fear is that they might actually do more damage if you shoot them down to a civilian.
Yeah, because they're flying over built-up areas.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. And also, I can't remember the name of this pact. American listeners will probably know. It's one of those original Constitution things that basically it involves that whole thing of like the right to bear arms, and the American army can't ever act on the citizen type of thing unless there's a due like a proper reason to do it kind of thing. So I suppose the interesting thing is that what it appears to be, everyone has their own opinions and ideas of what's going on here. One of the main ideas being floated is it's a large airplane style drone, and from that's acting as kind of a mothership. Then baby drones are coming off that, and the baby drones are going around surveilling things. Now, the main place that they've been active is over that military base.
And even in the UK, they were...
it was all over in the UK, and we had been reporting about this before they had gotten to America, was in the UK. This was on our Instagram and stuff. These drones were being sighted all over the UK. Yeah. And so it's important to mention because, you know, sometimes with our stuff, you know, we talk about a lot of crackpot kind of mad shit as well a lot of the time. So, like, people could just throw this into that pile of, oh, that's crackpot. It's like UFO shit. But like this was like, you know, this was being reported like mainstream people were like all over it going like, what the fuck is going on over the UK? What's going on over military bases?
A lot of people giving out, especially I was watching some live Congress today and they were just saying like, this is ridiculous. Like, we can't let this happen.
So that's right, because they need Congress's approval to be able to act on them. So that's the big obstacle, right? Yeah. Is that to be able to find out what they are, you're relying on a couple of things. One, there
has been one that crashed. Yeah. So that did happen. Now, apparently, civilians weren't allowed to go there. They had to let. It does look to me, from some of the videos that I've seen, they don't look UAP-ish. Majority. No. So they look like they're legit drones. It's just there's some stuff they can't figure out. So there's some of them that are 6 feet long in diameter, but they're staying up there for like 6 hours and they're going, how? Yeah. Like, it could be, like, look, it could be anything.
There are frequencies that they can't intercept either, really. Yeah. Like, they haven't actually figured out how to, like, crack their frequencies.
Yeah, to get the code.
I said it to you before we recorded. This is one of those things where to us in the West, you know, we look at it and we're like, what the fuck? Like, this is surely like almost a borderline act of war. But then I was thinking about it earlier. I'm like, what are fucking like American and UK satellites and like planes are probably flying all over China and Russia. Yeah. Like,
you would know if things were coming your way.
Like, they're probably like they've probably surveyed. No, but what I'm saying is like, our quote-unquote allies or the West have surveyed these countries probably in much the same way.
I'd say this is like...
And it's only that...
Whoever's doing this they want to get noticed. And that's maybe the scary thing. Like, you would just turn off all the lights on your drones and no one would know about this. The lights are on. No one's home. You're mine. Like, I don't... So, possibly it's sending a statement... There's another possibility that it's actually the Biden administration doing tests
I don't think it's
as I don't think so either. No. Like when I say possibility, I don't mean that that's what I believe. But right now it's like, okay, Russia, China, North Korea, aliens, a load of lads that are just doing this for the crack, which I suppose is a possibility. I don't know how they would get their hands on some of the heftier ones. Maybe there's actual UAPs and this is a distraction so people don't see the actual UAPs that are surveilling all the military bases. And after that, then it's just the American military doing it. I think they're all the options.
Yeah. I think there's a couple that are likely and then there's some that are not likely. I think is it homegrown? I think not. I don't think it's anyone in America. I don't think it's anyone in UK. And you made a good point earlier again before we were recording that like if it was allies, like they'd probably just test it in like Area 51, or
you wouldn't
places
test
that that are out of the way.
Unless you wanted to, because I suppose there's another option that this is the low budget start to Project Bluebeam.
You could say that,
which is possible.
Yeah, you could say that, but I think they don't want to probably, it's scary. And so you're right. And so that's probably why they don't want to alarm anyone, because I would put my money on it's probably China.
But do you think if I was America, like remember the time the Chinese weather balloon came in? That was shot out of the sky.
We talked about that in the podcast too.
Yeah. But that was gone. Now again, there was a few other crafts that went down that no one talked about. So that's like whatever. But I don't know. To me, it seems I feel like if I was America and I knew, for example, that this was an adversary, I would be not retaliating in a big way, but I'd be doing something similar. I'd be like, well, let's send a fuckload of our drones over there and see how they like it. I know the Pentagon have said it's not an adversary, which doesn't. What the Pentagon statement said basically is nothing. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just it's your fake news. They're eating the cats. I think the really fearful thing is that, like, do you start to think now when you look outside your window that you might see something, like it's possible, because this is all stuff that seems really bizarre, but it's happened in the UK. It's happened in America. Now it's more American centric. It's about around those bases.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if we started to see him in Shannon.
Well, this is it. But this is it. I don't really want to be seeing things that are scary when I look out the window.
I think it looks like that they're trying to get the most simple explanation, which is often case the true one, is like it looks like they're just trying to surveil American military hardware,
but they're doing it and they want to get caught. That's the thing. Is like,
but maybe it's a flex. It's like look, because this is what I'm saying. We're not privy to if the US or the UK have done similar in China or in Russia.
True.
Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, America's up to all sorts of shenanigans.
No, they
all
definitely
across, like in Taiwan and things like that. And so you would wonder, like, is this just a kind of a check? Not a checkmate, but it's like, yeah, guys, we can do that too. Like we can do that.
You would imagine if America was sending that stuff over, obviously you wouldn't have the lights on, because when you're surveying, you don't want to be seen. Or that should be the outcome. Whereas with these, they want to be seen.
Yeah.
What's weird as well is it starts from dusk to 11 p.m. and then stops. Like, that's also kind of weird. But
that's probably from a footage perspective. It's just the best time to film.
Well, no, I think literally they stop. Well, no, sorry, you mean for the things. But if you're trying to freak people out.
No, but they're working during the day, right? Or are you saying during the night?
No, I'm saying so dusk. So when the sun goes down.
The sun goes down.
So let's say 5 o'clock in
then
winter.
They start.
5 to 6.
Yeah.
And it seems to be just till 11 p.m. and then
okay, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Then I don't know. I was going to say, like, because it seems like, and the American military, to the best of my knowledge, have moved all of their kind of more modern fighter jets from these hangars in these places, because they're like, oh, that's what they're wanting to see.
Yeah.
So it could be a thing where with these drones that they figure, like, so basically for listeners who are out with loop, it seems like the main drone, the mother drone, is about the size of, let's say, a Cessna, a small plane. And then the baby drones are like regular drones. They're like, they look like,
but they still
DJI
seem to have
Phantoms
a longer
or something.
battery life than what you'd expect.
They are probably the ones that come down. And sure, if you get one of them down onto an airship, for example, like, you can fly in and get good footage of a plane.
Yeah.
But I suppose the big problem there is like most drones are trackable. So like all those DJI drones and stuff that you see like hobbyists flying, like ATC, air traffic control, they know that those are being flown near them, so they know before like it even gets up. And like all of those military bases, all of those airports, they'll tell you like, yeah, we have like a couple of hundred people flying drones over our stuff every year. That's normal. But what's happening now is abnormal. And so now it's about trying to figure out why it's happening and what's going on.
But you said as well that there's been reports where planes can't keep up with them.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that sort of leads you down the UAP side.
Yeah, they've lost, like, so that's the thing is like basically every attempt to track them has been lost. They've lost them every time.
That's bizarre.
That's really bizarre.
That's really bizarre.
Yeah, that's
because whatever about like, you know, not being able to track them with, you know, serial codes or here's your app or whatever. But like when to the best of my knowledge,
military.
From 27 miles, a fighter jet can lock into the tire of a car, the specific tire. For some reason, it's not able to lock into these things, so they have some sort of stealth equipment, I guess.
It is eerie and kind of worrying in a sense because you're like, so.
Well, what if they want to start doing stuff?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're saying like the most powerful military in the Western world, in the world, can track drones.
See, I
or are they just not letting you know that
I feel like they're telling us.
They're like, oh, motherfucker, we can sort them out.
They're just like, no, it's actually us. Don't worry about it. That's why I
don't think it's America. I actually don't.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, but I feel like they're able to do and know way more than they're telling us.
Oh yeah, they can probably eat them, no problem. But again, it comes down to they can't fire over American soil properly, really, unless it's. But like you said, the worry is for any country. Is if these drones like are cheap, they're easily replaced, easy to replicate, then are these going to be... So like before 9/11, everyone thought, you know, flying in planes, no one thought it could be ever used as really a weapon. No one ever thought of like jet, like commercial flying as like, this can be weaponized. We just didn't think about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it happens and now you see how strict flying is. Is it going to be the same with this, where it's like, oh yeah, those drones, like they were a thing that people used until they can't anymore? Like, is it a thing? Like you're saying, is this a thing where whoever's doing it, in a sense, are kind of trying to do like a sort of a destabilization thing, where it's like, here's a bunch of these, they're kind of benign, they're not going to bother you, but then all of a sudden there's a rug pull and, oh, these ones have a payload on them, because that's like drones are... In Ukraine, that's like the main warfare right now.
Yeah, of course. Drones. I mean, drones have been the main warfare sort of element for a long time.
But like the drones that America were using, say, back in the day, like of the Obama administration, like they were more like high up, big drones. Like these little FPV kind of small handheld little drones, they're new. Like that's new shit. Like
it is bizarre, and you can only imagine. If you were to look out your window and just be seeing these going
scary
around. Yeah, of course. And maybe that's the point. The point is just to freak out America. Maybe that is the whole point. I don't it feels to me, I think if I had to put money on it. What do you think, Aaron? If I had to put money on it.
Let's go.
I don't think I think America would be retaliating a lot more if they knew it was Russia or China or Korea. And I know there was that one what is he, like the mayor of New Jersey or something? He said like it's a Korean mothership out on the... Now, I don't think Korea... I don't know if they have... Well, they have nuclear options, so they must have drones and, you know, they would have the ability to do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what Korea... Korea's funny, like... Cause
I don't see what the point would be. Like, I don't like, what are you doing what are you doing?
I'm not sure. I'm not a military expert, so there's probably a lot of people
the only one that
Koreans only have diesel submarines, I think. I don't think they have any nuclear subs.
But think
they're easily tracked, is what I'm saying.
For sure. But the only thing, I think, the only country where it would be in their interests, obviously there's the whole China thing with surveilling, but it's not an urgent thing. But you would imagine that Russia...
Well, they kind of have a vested interest in surveying
They want to stop. They know there's a change of government
Ukrainian aid coming in. He's American.
And Trump has kind of said, I'm leaving this alone, like NATO sorts of shit out. So maybe... But then again, if that was the thing for diplomacy, if you were Putin...
Yeah, you wouldn't do that.
You probably just say, actually, Trump is going to actually act in my interests. and we're going to, split up the land, carve it up, draw some territories. I don't think it's in their interest to be public about it. Like China robbed the IPs of America.
Yeah.
But outside of that, there's no point to have this spectacle.
It's a weird move. Because from all intents and purposes, as far as I know, like, it's impossible for any country to successfully invade America. So doing all this, you kind of wonder, like, what's even the point?
But
so then you have to
but it's such a low level move.
Yeah. So then you kind of have to wonder, like, is it simply just a case where it is like, let's say, Russia, and the only reason they're doing the surveillance is so that they know what hardware the Ukrainians are packing, because the Ukrainians are using American military stuff, right?
But even that, if America were to find it, look at how unsuccessful Russia have been with trying to launch a campaign against the Ukraine. If they very publicly sent in drones that had LEDs on them, if I was America, I'd be like, all right,
well, it's an act of war.
Yeah. Right, so like you're basically, you're not just going to be like, I don't know, like you're America, you're the hardest lad in the world.
Yeah, we're in a weird time now, though. Like that data cable
the severed.
The severed one. Like they've basically said now that was China acting on Russia's whims, and that's why that was cut.
And when you say they, is that like...
Well, it's the West. And so then that's...
So China and Russia are colluding.
Yeah. And so that's an act of war in my book. But no one is escalating. So then you're kind of wondering, is it kind of a game of cat and mouse at the minute where like countries are trying to incite the other? And like they maybe... Like let's just play like kind of a kind of a fictional game here where... Let's just say, for example, like China and Russia were in a situation where they said, right, if we aggravate America enough to where they act, maybe they overstep in Ukraine or they do something, that we think that we have the nuclear capability to disable most of their infrastructure to a point where we can get them to submit, at least in Ukraine and a couple of other places.
But you see,
or to capitulate in some way, shape, or form.
If you think so, America, Israel, the UK.
Oh, I know. But
it's like, so it's like, you're right. So you have, say, Russia, North Korea, and China.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, big boys. Yeah. And it's like that old Axis allies stuff coming back in again. America, obviously, with the UK, I would imagine, with all the stuff we've seen on Brazil and the UFO stuff we've covered in the past, but you'd imagine America would consolidate power with a lot of people. I think the fear is with, the hypersonic missiles and all this sort of stuff. It's just that if someone does something big, that's basically the end of it.
Yeah.
And we have not been in this situation for about 40 to 60 years.
Cold War
and post World War II.
Interesting.
It's just a very brazen, for me, the most brazen thing is that if you're Russia or China, to be this public in what you're doing. Because China said... Bowled. Basically, brazen. Naughty. Because when America shut down the weather balloon and China was like, this is an active war. But they weren't really pissed off. They were just kind of like, we probably were trying to see some shit. But now we're just saying that was just the weather. But to go from that into highly visible LEDs on drones, it's very, I don't think it's a good idea. Like, you wouldn't imagine it would be the best of ideas.
No.
Now, the reaction to it is even more bizarre. Like, that's the thing, is that, and this is the thing that really gets me, is that America are just going, it's none of our adversary. They've said it's none of their adversaries, and they've said that it's nothing internal that they know about, right? It's not cool enough to be UAPs. It's not like the fucking jellyfish that looks class. It's not a hobbyist. So based on that, and based on the fact that I don't think it's in the interest of Russia, Korea, I could see doing something like this maybe, but not Russia or China. I think honestly, since we saw the sphere, I kind of think it might be to try to just distract people from actual UAPs being lost in this. And that's why... Korea
would be West Coast also, by the way.
Yeah, so they wouldn't come around the East. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense.
East, you would say Russia, makes sense. Geographically.
Yeah. But I don't think it's in Putin's interest to do that now with a change. It could be. I honestly, it's hard to know with the amount of UAP shit we've seen. I feel like it might actually be them trying to make us not see.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. Freddie Terrible asks, we've got Patreon questions. If a fleet of alien ships descended down to Earth on the afternoon of Christmas Day, do you think Christmas will be cancelled or the humans of Earth will deal with it on the 26th?
I'm pretty sure Christmas will be cancelled.
Yeah.
I think you have
Christmas
to...
was kind of cancelled the year of the Thailand tsunami. Now, I think that might have been Boxing Day, Stephen's Day.
Yeah,
we were talking about Boxing Day, Stephen's Day on our Patreon episode. But like that was one of those, I remember like coming down, turning the TV on, and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, but we were
miles away from that. We were,
you know?
But like...
But I know what you mean, it put a dampener.
It did, like it was like international news. So if aliens showed up, fuck that. Like
if aliens show up, we're all going to have a weird...
Christmas off, brother.
Quiet Christmas. Well, I don't know, man. What if they show up everywhere?
Yeah.
Like, do you ever see some of these...
Independence Day.
The metallic... You know, they talk about the UAPs that basically in shapeshift.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see some of these metallic structures, you kind of go, yeah, that looks like... Either I'm looking at computer-generated imagery or this is a real thing that I don't know what to call.
It's never been a better time to be interested in UFOs. There's so much going on in the skies. There's so many interesting things happening. So yeah, I've even had friends like shout out Colin, like lads that were never really into it. They're like, man, what the fuck is going on at the minute? Like
it's scary. It's legit scary. Like I don't know, the whole I've been listening to a lot of stuff just about general UAP, and there's so much. That's the problem with it as well. There's so much stuff that you can't really know if it's
you can't sort of wait from the chat.
Well, I was listening to a guy and he was like, Barack Obama got this message from aliens.
Barack Obama.
Rocka flocka flames. But he got like some sort of notification from the aliens, and
right.
It could be true, but it's just a very outlandish thing to say.
It's an outlandish thing to say.
But all these things are coming in, and the more you listen to it, the more your head sort of gets turned around. And then there's other people that are saying the aliens, like, they're working towards a goal, but they don't really care if people die or not. Like they're not. That's why they say so. It was we did the school in Zimbabwe that the aliens visit told them about ecological, like be nice to the earth. Yeah. So like the aliens are all into that, and I think the aliens are us. Then I had this other thought where it's like, is the trans thing what guides us towards aliens?
Spider guts.
So like the aliens are androgynous, right?
Okay, right.
You get me? So they don't have genders. It would look like. So does this start to?
Yeah.
Well, but sure, I'm trying to.
No.
I like aliens.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm pro aliens.
So you're
I don't think the aliens should be getting puberty blockers before the age of 18, but I'm pro alien.
The aliens are LGBT then.
Everything's LGBT.
Okay, right.
Every LGBT.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. I get your point.
Do you get me though? Yeah. But it was just like I'm with you. You're thinking you're
Sigourney Weaver had a shaved head in Alien 3,
and that's when it all started, just from what I can tell.
Yeah. She created lesbians when she did that.
She created lesbians.
Like the
we need. How do you get from Sigourney Weaver to the Greys? And that's the slow.
It out, though.
That's the slow march we're in.
It.
We're knee deep in it now.
Mickey Slipper Deluxe asks, "Call me negative." Well, he makes a statement. "Call me negative or adulting too hard, but I'm just not feeling the festive vibes this year. What would you both do to remedy this un-Christmassy affliction?" I'll take this one first and then I'll let him in. How would you remedy it? So, personally, I don't usually feel Christmassy. I'm going to say to you, Mickey Slipper, you're putting too much of a burden on feeling Christmassy on yourself this early in the year. I usually don't feel Christmassy until like Christmas Eve. And it's when I hear like driving home from Christmas on the radio as I'm like stressed driving from shopping somewhere and I'm like, oh yeah, it is Christmas. No, for me, like, I think it's the release that makes me feel Christmassy. It's the like, I've bought all my fucking shit. I'm sitting down about to eat my dinner. I'm with my family. Grand. It's time for Christmas now. That's when I feel Christmassy. I never usually feel Christmassy up until that point. Like, sometimes you might get a bit of a whiff of it, like when you put up the tree, or you might do some of that stuff. But for me, the Christmassy feeling doesn't actually come on until quite late in the year. I would advise listening to, get a good Christmas song playlist that doesn't have all the brain melters. I find I like listening to like certain types of music and certain types of seasons. I like jazz in Christmas time.
Yeah.
Yeah, jazz in the winter, because it's like wintry, kind of moody music that fits the vibe for me. I listen to a lot of jazz. I try and get in the spirit. We've had mulled wine today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice.
That
makes you feel merry.
That makes you feel merry. Christmas jumpers help.
Yeah.
But by and large, like, don't put too much pressure on yourself to feel Christmassy. I think that's a very relative kind of thing. I think everyone has different, you know, what they get out of it. It can be a very different experience for a lot of different people. Some people are like, I want all the fucking presents. Some people are like, I just want to hang out with family. Some people are you know,
I think the more pressure you put yourself on to feel Christmassy, the more difficult it is to capture that.
What's your advice, Em? Your sage advice.
My sage
Your
advice.
sage genius.
Well, I'd say the first thing is just chill. Like, just chill. Don't worry about it. It's fine. If you get through the whole Christmas without feeling Christmassy, not the end of the world. So just put that to one side for a second. And with that in mind, just do stuff that makes you happy. Not to necessarily feel Christmassy. I don't know if he has like kids or family or anything like that. They're the things that make it easier to feel Christmassy because you're, whether you want to be or not, you're forced into these things.
I will want to say that if you're in your 30s and you don't have children or anything yet, it's probably normal to not feel super Christmassy. That's another caveat.
Yeah. Like I remember when it was like sort of semi-COVID times and I spent Christmas with Paula before we were married and not with the family, and we didn't feel Christmassy. I didn't feel very Christmassy. But we still had a lot of fun just hanging out. Yeah. So it's like you don't need to feel Christmassy to have a good time. But I'll tell you what.
Oh,
here's a bit of advice. Help you feel a bit Christmassy.
Genius advice.
The sage wisdom, the sage spirit of Christmas. Go to a couple of churches and look at the nativity they have set up. Yeah. So look at the cribs Jesus. And all the rest of it. Because a lot of churches, I popped into Rose Street earlier today. I was in the park and I said I'd see what was going on there. They don't have it set up yet, but they do a lovely big thing.
They have it set up yet. When the fuck are they setting it up?
I'm hoping by next week.
But there was Christmas lads, man. Like.
It's because they set it up from when the wise men are. It's based on the dates, right?
Okay.
So, but they have these lovely structures, and it's actually really nice. My dad brought my niece, so one of them must have been set up in a different church. And when she saw the animals, so right now it's just the manger scene, so Mary and Joseph aren't there, but it's just like the oxen or whatever. And she just went E-I-E-I-O because she's a little baby and she only knows Old MacDonald. But I think that's actually a good way. And I would say as well, you don't have to be religious necessarily. For us, as being raised Catholic, say, it's the best avenue to some sort of mystical thing. For me, at least, because I don't have access to anything else. But I would like to go to a church, look at the crib, maybe light a candle, say, like as an offering for some people you care about, whether it's your friends or family. I think that might help. Stick on an old fucking Christmas jumper as well, you bad humbug cunt. But I do think that those things help. But like I said, if you don't feel it at all, then just be good to yourself, be kind, and enjoy it to the best of your ability.
Absolutely. Chris C writes in, give us a play-by-play of what you imagine an American Christmas day is like. Please take liberties. Alternatively, or also give us a rundown of an Irish Christmas day. So American Christmas is... they go outside to shoot a cow, to shoot a turkey, to shoot a pig. They then throw the pig on top of the turkey and like set the both of them on fire. All the fat from the pig cooks the turkey. They drink the fat. And
Resident Evil and Christmas.
They put the turkey on the table then. They shoot guns at each other. They do Russian roulette around the table.
They go out with a box of matches and they set fire to the homeless tents around their area.
They stuff the turkey with Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, they stuff the turkey with Pop-Tarts. They roast marshmallows on an open fire and with the chestnuts.
Baby Jesus wears like a McDonald's baby girl.
Yeah. All the shops are open, so they do some shopping. So every shop is open. No one's off for Christmas.
No.
So they go to Toys R Us and they buy Christmas toys on the day. Yeah. No, you don't get it under a tree. You go do the shopping on the day. You buy Hallmark cards.
Everyone gifts each other ammunition.
Father capitalism stops by your house.
Ammunition is a stocking filler. Yeah. And they're going under the tree.
You get these cool 50 cal belts that you get to wear to keep your pants up. Yeah. Stuff like that. I'd say at night you shoot bullets into the night sky just for the crack. It's the most peaceful time of year to just shoot bullets into the night sky.
There's a Christmas monster truck show.
There will be a Christmas monster truck show as well.
You have to go and see that. baby Jesus is like on a manger on top of the main.
By 11 o'clock, your daughter is uploading fresh content to her OnlyFans.
Yeah, no, I love America, so I'm only taking the piss.
Of course, yeah. You would do basically what we do over here, effectively.
No. I think it's funny, I think in terms of culturally, I probably relate more with American culture even over Great British culture, which is interesting because in Ireland, we've mentioned it here before, as Irish people, you've got Irish culture, which we grow up in, obviously, so we're very much immersed in that. But then to the left and right of us, we have two of the big Western superpowers.
Yeah.
So it's like how a little bit of influence always bleeds through.
And America has permeated our media. So like all the TV shows, the majority of them are very American. Well, they would just be American in general. So
I love Americans. I hopefully, you know, it's in the air, but it is a potential thing. We'll keep our cards close to our chest, but we may be in America next year. Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
Working visa.
Maybe. Don't tell fucking customs. That was actually funny on her TikTok. Revenue viewed her profile. There's an account for revenue. I was like, stay where he's are, lads. I'll be fucking viewing our profile anyway. His Balix's.
We'd only get hit for 4 years of tax.
I have an account in revenue. Fuck off.
Imagine that's your job in revenue, to find lads who make fuck all money.
Essentially, I thought it was a joke. I was like, oh, there's a revenue profile view.
What's more bizarre, like fucking UAPs at night or revenue looking at our account? What's more bizarre? It's an act of aggression.
Uncle Lena's comments on her post, you're forced to partake in a crypto. Oh, actually our last question was, how do we do Christmas in Ireland? Sorry. Very, very, very straightforward. For me personally, yours might be different. Our family have we'll have like a nice breakfast. We might have a bit of a fry up or something, and then we'll have we'll have a breakfast about 9. We'll open the presents together, actually, is what we do. And then at about 1, we'll have like a starter. We'll have like 1 or 2. We'll have a starter. We'll have like our starter for last year, we've all been into is a bit of a halloumi kind of salad. Grilled halloumi.
Good, yeah. I'd be also
or
very
prawns.
partial to prawn cocktail.
Yeah, prawn cocktail.
So
that's very
occasionally now
traditional.
my ma slices up some melon.
Oh, I could say
That gets in there.
Why not?
Melon with a bit of Serrano ham.
Oh,
that's
right, yeah.
actually
Good.
You know what I mean? Lads be fucking around with brie and honey.
Yeah, brie and honey.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Me and my brother would have a cheese board. I haven't seen that Balix over here in 2 years.
Bit of charcuterie.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But then we just have our dinner. Dinner in our house is maybe a little bit different. We don't bother with a turkey. Me and my sister don't like turkey, so we have chicken, bit of roast beef, bit of ham, roast potatoes, mashed potatoes,
well. Very nice.
Stuffing, cauliflower cheese, carrots, broccoli, and gravy. That'll be our and then we'll sit there like full as eggs for like 5 or 6 hours, and then we might
go back at it again.
A turkey and stuffing sandwich for supper. Well, actually, before the turkey and stuffing, we'll probably play a board game and have a drink. And we'll play a board game, and then we'll have maybe turkey and stuffing. And usually by that time, to be fair, with us, we're usually done quite early, like probably like 6:30, 7:30. I'm probably back home. You know, I'll be done.
Yeah. You can chill out, have a few cleansing areas.
Yeah, I might this year just come home. I'll be on my Todd, so maybe I'll come home and have a drink and play a game or something like that.
Hang out with the dog. That does sound nice.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out ways of being.
Yeah. What about you? What's yours?
We will probably wind up going down to Waterford to see like my larger family. We'll hang out there till maybe 1 or 2. Come back to Wexford, and then I'm with my mother and my father.
So you'll do dinner when you just get back home, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So get back home. We'll do dinners very similar to yours, but I'd say they're probably going turkey and ham this year.
That is, you have to usually. We're the odd ones out there.
So we do a year on, year off, because my sister has the kids. So they go to their other grannies 1 year, to my mum's the year after. So last year they were with them. So my parents came to me and Paola for Christmas. Paola, we gave them Brazilian bacalhau cured cod.
Offensive.
My father did not like it. So this year,
utter wokeness.
Well, yeah. Why would Pierce Morgan? Why did you have fish? It's an absolute disgrace. So we'll be going back over to my mum's this year. I'm looking forward to having I haven't had a proper Christmas dinner for a few years.
You've been suffering.
I've been fucking dying. Been too understanding. So I'm looking forward to that, and I am looking forward to your point as well. You eat so much that you can't eat no more. So I'm probably going to bring some pajamas to my ma's house. I love that, as well. You can go back to your ma's house. It's still kind of my house.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So steadily you can just go back into your room and just, even though my dad sleeps there, I can be like, sure, this is my room.
Will you go back home that night?
Yeah.
Now, will you drink though? Will you walk, or will you just get a...
I'd say my mum might.
Oh, she doesn't.
And the way that you heard the noise out of the car this morning, so I'm not sure if that's going to be fit to drive.
Uncle Linus writes in, you're forced to partake in a cryptid off a Secret Santa. You draw one from below. Take your pick. What do you buy? So I'm going to just say, Eamon, what do you buy for Monkey Man in New Delhi?
Bob's and Vagine. I get Monkey Man of New Delhi 1 hour with a real woman.
Deaf singing sensation Shakira, what do I buy her? Hidden hair and fucking go down and get her a hairnet.
That's what I sound like.
Moog writes in, it's Christmas Day and you're opening your presents. At the bottom of your stockings you find 3 mysterious envelopes. You open them. The first one is an invite to Bigfoot New Year's party. And all the cryptids are going to be there. The second is an invite to tour Area 51 on New Year's Eve and contains an all-access pass. The third one is a return ticket to the planet in the Zeta Reticuli system, departing on New Year's Eve, where all the knowledge of human existence will be revealed to you. Which one do you choose and why?
You have to go with C, wouldn't you?
I think so.
Yeah. Now, that's probably going to ruin the rest of your life.
See, Zeta Reticuli, see, Moog, watch it out there. By the way, top question. One of the best we've ever had from a patron, by the way. But what I will say is you needed to make that last option less sexy, and the way that I would do that is that we never come home from Zeta Reticuli if we do go, but the others we do come home from.
Yeah, and then is it worth learning all the secrets of human history if you can never join the humans?
The Anunnaki.
It could be terrible because
Hancock.
This was for ages.
Yeah, I think it's worth going. I'd go.
Yeah, I go with C. Yeah, we're all gonna die anyway. May as well get a mad experience.
Yeah, we could do a podcast about it. Beam it back from Zeta Reticuli.
Imagine getting famous on Zeta Reticuli, but not in Ireland. Yeah, not in the world. You just go there
That's kind of as it is now. I have way more listeners in America and the UK than Ireland, so it's that's normal. Graham Young writes in, big shouts out to Graham as well, looking forward to seeing you over in Scaffold Giza. He says, I'll keep it nice and simple. What are you guys doing for Christmas? Whatever it is, hope you have a good one. I'll be drinking beer, then probably fall asleep after my meal. We've kind of answered it. Very chilled out. I try and it's always been a thing for me. Literally since I've been probably 7 years old, I've almost always got since then video games or a game or something for Christmas. So almost every single Christmas for me has revolved around playing games in some way, shape or form.
Yeah.
So I like to try and keep that going, that tradition. So like I said, I'll be at home on my own on Christmas. So I'll probably try and come home, stick on a game. Maybe might have a little drink, chill out, and
it's nice to just wind down because you're the thing about Christmas is it's very hard to get too drunk because you're eating so much that your poor body is just tired the whole day. It must take 2 months off your life every time you celebrate Christmas. If we had no Christmases, we'd all live to 120.
Yeah, we will.
But there's something lovely about just it's like being Xanax to the gills for the day. You're just too full, a little bit drunk. Yeah, and if you smoke hash, that's fucking great. Game, set, and match.
Lord Stephen William Marlowe III Esquire commented on my post. He says, "Hi chaps, probably been asking before, but favourite Christmas film? By the way, just call me Steve Marlowe. Saying my full name makes me sound like a knob laughing face emoji. Cheers." Sorry Steve, that was my bad. I won't do that again. Christmas movie.
I'm a big fan. Die Hard 2.
Yeah, Die Hard.
Die Hard 2.
Every year we say
2 specifically because 2 has more snow in it.
So every year, Steve, you know well what our Christmas. You've been with us since the start, Giza.
Last Christmas, I watched Die Hard and then Aliens back to back.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I think, I'm not really mad into like the Christmassy films. Home Alone's great. You know, I would always watch a bit of Home Alone. But as we get new listeners every year, it's worthwhile, I suppose, reiterating that Die Hard is the best Christmas film.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Objectively. Like,
100%.
It's just good. Like, I might watch that on my own, actually. That's probably part of it. We actually had an email, Eamon, not from Patreon. It was based on our beer-based talk about Harp and all that.
Oh, and Foster's. And
was Foster's brewed in Ireland. Leon Young writes in, hello, gents. Great podcast. Beer is brewed in the comport of consumption under license. The brewer must make the water used match the chemical values of the original source. Thanks.
No, thank you. I don't know what any of that shit means.
What it means is that basically if Foster's were brewing beer here, we would have to match our water with Australian water. So
no, I think it's similar. There's ways. So for example, with whiskey, if you drink bourbon, the bourbon cask can only be used once, right? Yeah. But if you are brewing whiskey, the bourbon cask can be used for whiskey multiple times. So if you're brewing whiskey, it's cheaper to keep using bourbon cask, and that's why you get so much of these fucking class whiskeys that are sherry cask and bourbon cask.
No,
but the reality is it's just cheap casks.
No, you know.
But I tell you something else.
What?
Whiskey though.
Class.
What a drink. What a drink.
I'm actually quite liking this wine buzz now tonight.
This wine buzz is pretty
We're
good.
On the
wine
port now, soon, Cockburn.
I'll tell you one thing. Oof, I've had that before. Same. Let's go. Same.
My doctor could testify.
Yeah, we can do this. How bad was his? Oof. Very bad.
Andrew Carney writes in, this is the last question before we get out there. Werewolf apparently derives from man-wolf in Old English. Shape shift. You've been transformed into a were creature. You have to do the whole monster when the moon is full thing. It's a full moon tonight.
Yeah, true.
And we're on the Cockburn. Watch out.
Yeah, I'd be walking home as well.
Which cryptid would you least like to be, and which would you most likely to be? You live a normal life otherwise. So basically we're turning into a cryptid midnight or whatever.
Oh, I see. I see.
What would you like to be, Eamon?
Well, if you're Dogman, you're basically a werewolf.
Yeah, Dogman, you're going on big dogs make you pissing on walls and fucking
Red Rocket.
Yeah. I'd like to be a dinosaur. So I want to be the open. I want to soar in the sky.
With arms wide open.
Flying around.
That'd be pretty good.
Like a UFO.
Yeah, I think a flying
class. You want to be Mothman, would you? Because your intellect matches Mothman.
Mothman's so very clever.
Can use all his psychic intellect powers.
I have no neck. I think a flying cryptid. I think you're probably right about that. Let me just think. Is there any other mad cryptids?
So there's Mothman. There's the Robin. There's the Orang Batty. No, it's not the Orang Batty. What's the one? There is one from down there though.
That's
the flyer.
The flying Sasquatch, basically.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. What was that lad's name? Panang? No, can't remember.
Oh, the Yahoo. The Yahoo was like a giant
Yahoo.
Or the Yahoo.
It was the Yahoo.
Yeah. I would say Mothman, I don't know, maybe you'd be drawn in by too much lights, so you'd be just banging your head off.
No, Mothman does not.
We don't know.
No,
we don't know.
No, we do, because he'd be discovered. Bug.
That's why he keeps finding them at the airport. No. Bright lights. The Harris Airport. I'd say a flying dinosaur. I'd say a roping.
Alright, so we're both roping.
I think we'll go roping, yeah.
Right, we'll leave it there, folks. We have to go and record with him now, even though you've already heard that episode. It's a true paradox. It's just science.
Back to the past.
Who knew it? But what we will say is this is the last episode of 2024. We will be back in 2025, early 2025, with our usual schedule. We would like to thank everyone so much for your listens, whether you're a patron or not. It is very much appreciated. We would like to thank everyone for your interactions on Instagram, your interactions on any other social media. We really appreciate them. We love to hear from you. We love to hear from all of you from Spotify Wrapped. Anyone that came along on our hike this year, it was an amazing experience. Hope everyone enjoyed that. And we look forward to having a 2025 with all of ye. We're going into our 5th year, which is fairly mad, half a decade. And it's been awesome. It's been a really fun ride. And we appreciate all yous. and we love interacting, which is cheers for the listens. It's been awesome. And if you got anything you'd like to say before we get out of here?
I don't think I can articulate it any better than that, to be fair. A big thank you to everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas or holiday break. Or if you don't celebrate nothing at all, then I hope you just have a relaxing time, because all the shops are closed.
Absolutely. And if you haven't already, check out our YouTube and subscribe. And if you're watching on our YouTube and you haven't subscribe, hit like. We love yous. I'm Rob.
Amen.
Monster Fuzz, over and out.